And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DJ Life podcast. Little couple wedding week stuff off, and we're back. We're back, and we definitely needed a week to recover from that.
Oh my god! If we had done this podcast last Tuesday, first I'd have just been like asleep on the mic. Yeah,
we would not have this energy right now.
Yeah, I'm so glad you didn't, because I was reeling with the Vegas influenza all last week.
Got you.
Yeah, thanks MEX, PBX, and Vegas.
I had huge FOMO, of course, though. I was saying that to my wife. I was like, man, I'm not missing Vegas again. This is dumb. Like, there's no.
I'm surprised I didn't hear anybody getting sick out of our wedding, because we had people from Cali and everything coming all over the place.
Getting sick?
Yeah, a bunch of people get together now and someone spreads it to everybody, and a bunch of people get sick afterwards. But no, everybody was good after ours.
I was gonna say I actually did feel sick the following day.
By the way,
that's hangover. That's hangover. Yes, absolutely.
Had no idea. I'm sitting here on my couch. I'm scrolling through. I'm like, oh, what's Spinelli up to? Wait. What?
Yeah.
Who's getting married? Damn.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun, and my wife went, and so she made me dance, and I gave in. So we danced, and I got
some videos. I'm gonna take us some blackmail on this guy. That's for sure.
Hey, that is a rare occasion for me to participate in the party like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
it looked like a fun.
He
time.
made it to the after party and the after party.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
wow,
I was trucking, man.
I was impressed you made it that long.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
You need the week off.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, just about. We were joking because we were like on Sunday and Monday. We're like, wow, we'd figure we'd get some texts from people like, oh, what an awesome wedding or whatever. And then it was like Wednesday. People started texting and calling to like, dude, I've been like on the couch asleep since like until like Tuesday night, and like I finally started to feel good this morning.
Yeah, I was just
we were all in the same boat. Like, it was crazy.
I don't stay up past 11. My bedtime is like 10:30, know, and
we were out
so
until
to be
3.
out until 3, and that's like when I'm exiting the party. That's not when I'm home, or going
it's
to
definitely
sleep.
a shock to the system.
Yeah,
I hear that.
Oh, I was messed up.
I hear that.
Anyways, but our guest tonight, Rich Cranston,
Yes,
what's up?
Rich
How you
Cranston.
doing?
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, the pleasure is all mine. I appreciate the invitation. You both are doing freaking insane work. Hilarious as F. And can I curse on here? Or,
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Depends on what you ask me is the level of green I'll turn.
Green light. Green light.
Okay. All right. Cool. But yeah, this is fantastic. I appreciate you both.
Yeah, and if anyone that doesn't know, our guest a few weeks back, John Roach, works with Rich. Sorry, and he's his general manager. That's the title, I guess. And Rich, owner for Encore Events in Rochester, New York.
That's it. Yeah, he's a spicy number 2. For sure.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. John is cool. When we ran into them, if you listen to that other podcast, I say it 100 times, but we ran into them at the DJ Collective and just absolutely blew us away with their seminar there. I've honestly been like behind the scenes trying to score these seminars on video or whatever recording, because I saw you guys did the one in Pittsburgh. Maybe somewhere.
It just is one.
Yeah. I saw that, and I was like, "Ooh, I want that seminar." It's like it's not every time you hear in this community something new. That's so rare, And if you say some golden shit to like this guy over here, that's great, but he hasn't been around that long, apparently. You know what I mean? That's how it is. No hate towards anyone. It's hard to reinvent the wheel here.
It certainly is. But I think if you tap in on some business knowledge, I think this is something that this industry is severely lacking. There's so much tech.
Oh yeah.
But when it's as far as absolutely learning how to run a business and sharpen your sword there, I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. You can pick a topic and just run away with it.
It really is true.
Yeah.
When that whole automation thing hit for me, it was like I was so immediately in the top 1% of people you know, and then everyone else who bought it was like, what the fuck? You know, it just like turned everything out. But the reason is because everyone else sucks. Like, it's not even that it's that crazy, and it is good. I mean, it's my own shit, so whatever. But it's just that everyone else is truly not doing shit, you know, and they're, you know, I won't say bedroom DJs, but they just aren't tech savvy, you know. And
they're all obsessed with what's the newest Pioneer Optimus Theta controller
don't even get me started.
But, you know, and on the back end of this, you know, I see it from a content producer as an influencer. If I put out content that's like gold nugget business information, it does poorly. Like, DJs don't want to watch it. But I put out the newest speaker or this new light, and it gets tons of views, and everybody loves it. But it's like only the people that really want to dive in and actually try hard, those are the few that actually get to that business, and they're just like, this is the most golden nuggets in the world, and they're the ones that are DMing, and they're the ones that are getting with us and trying to level up into that category. And
it's a double-edged sword, too.
Is, yeah.
You hear because basically we're saying it's a low entry bar to what we do.
It is.
That's in a nutshell what we're saying, you know.
The barrier of entry is extremely low in our profession.
You see it on Facebook all day. All these dudes like, the DJ charges $300, $500. I hate him. It's like, dude, he's brand new. It's fine. Just fuck off. Just do you.
Slightly going out on a limb, but in general, small business, the bar's not hard to become successful if you do the right things.
The bar?
Yeah.
Oh,
just
like
about it, just because
absolutely. Well, I mean,
when they say like 9 out of 10 businesses fail, it's true because they don't actually put in the effort. I can't remember the stat, but it was like you're in the top 1% of businesses if you actually know your numbers. Like if you actually have a breakdown of what your revenue, profit, and percentage growth margins and everything, if you actually know that, you're like already in the top 10 percentile of businesses.
Yeah, I mean, shit, all that shit's brand new.
If you can survive even 3 years in business, you're doing well. And that's a great point. And people ask me all the time, like, you know, what's the magic formula? Really, I learned it in kindergarten. You treat people with respect. You do what you say you're going to do. And, you know, you give people what they pay for.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, there's no magic camel. There's no special lamp you have to rub. That is it. And you know, once you grasp that and you learn how to run a business in addition to harnessing your creative side, I mean, you're breaking fucking glass ceilings. I mean, it's on.
What is your education? Because like we've all said, you know, low entry bar. So when you come across someone who does know business that's in this industry, they're probably like on our fucking podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because they're turning shit out, you know. So what is your education though? How did you get to where the fuck you are? Yeah.
What's your background?
So I prepped myself for this just in case you asked this.
Yeah. I don't want the 2-minute version. I want like the 10-ish.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I want the longer one.
I want the 10, not the 30, and not the 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm here for that. So my father passed when I was 9, left my mother with a fuck ton of debt because he got cancer, and the cancer went to his brain, and he just started buying shit when he was essentially on his deathbed. So they owned a business together, and I grew up in business. They had a truck stop in Ontario, New York, which is very rural. I was climbing car carriers and going into, you know, the gas drums that's underground. That was me. There was no silver spoon or anything like that. I mean, we were broke.
Yeah.
And I love business. I love being around that. And this was when Ghostbusters was huge. And when all of the paperwork, the carbon copy invoices and stuff, after she sold the business, ended up at our house, I ran Ghostbusters with my cousin. So we get calls, we go out and bust ghosts, and I read out invoices. So I thought that was the coolest thing. Then the TV show Cops came out, and I thought that was just, next level. So my brain was in 1,000 different spaces. But I've always grew up in business and music. My mother, she loved to dance, and it was always either the Eurythmics or just freaking Marvin Gaye was just blasting from the basement. So Once I got to school level things, I excelled in sports. I was being scouted by the Kansas City Royals and the Baltimore Orioles for baseball.
Ooh.
I was burnt out. I got a tryout and everything. All I needed to do was go to college and play. And I just didn't do it. I was so sick and tired. Thank you. Cheers, boys.
Hey, Terramana, let's
go. There we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you. Yeah. So I just started in the sports medicine route because that seemed interesting. I went to Mercyhurst College in Erie, PA. I didn't return after Christmas break, but I started DJing there. They're a huge hockey program, D1 hockey. So I just started doing that, and that is where I got bit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was just awesome. I was DJing all the dorm parties. I had my CDs and shit, and it was really cool. So I came back to hometown, and I just kind of reset a little bit. I was striking out everywhere. I didn't like the sports med program. Wasn't making any friends. I needed to find direction. So I started taking police exam classes, and I passed. And I was going to the community college, and I enjoyed being a paramedic. I started volunteering in an ambulance. I worked my way up to be a paramedic. So I have a degree in emergency paramedicine. I have an associate's in business administration. I am one math class away from a bachelor's. But all the rest is just me getting knocked on my ass, making mistakes, succeeding a couple of times. But just learning from mistakes. And I really wanted to pursue being a DJ. And and that's the story, essentially. Yeah.
So when we talked to John Roach about how he met you, it was he very much condensed. He basically said, I gave him a business plan. He said, I'll go get a loan. And then the rest is history. What was it that quick of a decision? You just literally went out and got a loan and just followed it?
It pretty much was. Ironically, this office that I'm in right now is the building that I met John. This is the first commercial space that I had 3 of the businesses that I owned. And I knew Chrissy, his wife, before I met him, because I used to DJ all of the middle school dances for her school. Mm-hmm. So I'll never forget it. She called me up one Saturday. I was setting up for a wedding, and she says, Rich, I just got engaged. I want you to do my wedding. This is great. So we met, and John, you know how personable that guy is. Mm-hmm. I mean, he and I were hitting it off more than Chrissy and I were hitting it off.
Right.
And we're talking all this stuff back and forth, and it's just like 2 frat boys, having a meeting. And long story short was he was working for a big box, and I said, if you ever want to work part-time or something like that, to get back into the DJing, let me know. So he started the part-time route, and he fell on his face on 2 events. He missed the meeting, and I'm like, John, we can't continue to do this. And you could tell he was frustrated because he was getting pulled in multiple different directions.
Yeah.
Finally, like he said, he calls me up one day. I was working at the police department. I pulled over, and he says, how busy can you keep me? And I said, well, let's jump in the pool and see if there's water in it. And yeah, I mean, I was paying him a few $100s a week, and Chrissy brought me into their house, and she was trying to sell me onto hiring her husband because of how miserable he was and how cool this job could be. And that was the first thing.
That's so fun.
Paid off.
Yeah. What a score, though. It's like you see it, the perfect equation sometimes, like relationship between you two dudes, and it's awesome. You feed off each other, at least you did in your seminar. That's the only time I've really ever seen you guys in person, so.
And all of that is real, guys. I mean, I am super, I hate the word, like, I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
But you know what? I truly,
blessed.
truly am, because I owe so much to that man, just the paths that we've walked together and the relationships forged. And I mean, just given him the opportunity to flex.
Mm-hmm.
That's because that's all people want. I mean, and to do it to someone like John, where he deserves all of the success that has landed on his doorstep, because he is a workhorse.
Yeah.
He really truly works his ass off. And from a business owner standpoint, I mean, you guys know, to be able to trust someone, and are they going to show up in time? Are they going to rep my brand? I mean, zero worries.
Yep. I need to pull up the chat too.
Oh, it's pretty. Everybody's chilling today. We do have 12 people chilling. Anybody got questions in the chat? Feel free to ask them, like always. But everybody's basically just said congratulations, Rick, on the wedding, and then everybody's been quiet and listening to the good stories we've had going.
Okay, so when you got John, it was just you guys, I guess. Now you're, big ass multi-op. What were some other like pivotal moments, like maybe just something that you changed that was just like, and then all of a sudden it was off to the races again,
or growth pains along the way, or
well, I mean, to know when we've done a couple of things that have been remarkable in our space. Setup crews is one of them. To be able to invest into a team to go and set things up, and to be able to advertise to our DJ talent, our headliners, the ability to listen. You just walk in 90 minutes ahead of time of the events, you plug in, and you're good to go. There's no changing in the bathrooms. There's no going to get a Cliff Bar, and then you got to work for 7 hours and then tear down, then go out. So that was pretty pivotal for us. That was a huge win. And I tell you, the way we showcase our talent through open houses or just industry-changing things in our space has been great. But it's just the tip. I mean, what people see is only a small fraction of all the mistakes or bad decisions or money that's been lost because things just didn't pan out.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned setup crews, and it reminded me of everything. That you had setup crews, and it was one of the most fascinating things I heard from John. My mind goes to recruiting in terms of having the staff to do a full-on setup crew and everything. So what kind of like systems or things are you guys doing to like maintain having enough people to do setups on the scale that you're at, and also headline DJs on top of that?
That's tough. Because here, as we start getting through an enormous amount of turnover, and this is the part of the business that the trust goes. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
So with setup crews, we have to find people, that we can train. We're not doing, rigging or anything just ridiculous, right? I mean, we're setting up lights and uplights and XLRs and running cables and stuff. It's not rocket science.
Right.
So we have a pool of people that does that. But we've also gone through a couple of different versions of what our second person is like. And I call that, it's essentially the minor leagues of being a headliner. So this takes care of a couple things. One, we used to hire people that were interested in wedding planning. The group that we got for that was just, I want to set flowers and I want to do this. It didn't work out very well. 100%, it did pay dividends, but not how we really wanted it to. So then we just changed the marketing of who we're hiring, and we train DJs. I've done internship programs at local colleges and high schools. Just other people who just always were interested in being a DJ. And they're with us as a second person, and you can kind of kick the tires on them for a season. You get to see what their honesty is like, their punctuality, their work ethic. And then if they've passed that and they're good workers and they've earned it, then we will invite them into our training program. And that's worked out really well.
How many years have you guys been trucking with Encore?
So I started this company October of 98.
Of 98.
Oh, 98.
You're fucking old. I didn't know that.
7, 8.
That was a joke. But
no, I get it.
I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
3 years old. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, Rick is super young.
Yeah, I'm a little baby. I'm a little 28-year-old.
All right. So in what, 25, 20 something years, how many DJs do you think you've
That's
run
30
through?
something.
Oh, geez. I mean,
How many DJs you have on staff right now?
16.
16. All right. And I guess that's probably fluctuated pretty heavily, but
Other
I'll
than
put
John,
it
who's the
this way.
longest running DJ.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Let me put it this way: the three main people, the companies in our market, myself, a couple others, everyone. I mean, most of them except one, they have gone through our hallway. I mean, I had a pretty bad turnout with an employee who told me he was going to go work at a venue, and oh shit, he started his own DJ company. Now we're competitors. And then, a bunch of people who just, didn't want to stay with us anymore have gone through that avenue. So I'm very proud to say that a lot of relationships have been forged via Encore. And that's pretty cool because although things didn't work out, still a very talented group of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I gotta give you compliments. I was on the virtual open house, and man, did me and Hannah have like pages on pages of notes of like what the hell.
Sweet.
We're we're super excited. We literally are trying to get all the guys to film some content right now. Get some like pre-recorded sets and everything. We're like, this is so dope.
we were talking about that because
She was a blast to have.
I didn't go, or I didn't make it or whatever, and I was like, so what was it like? Like, because I drew, I wrote it in my fucking phone. I was like, totally planned on checking it out. And then now, if I'm talking to someone, I'll like drop a little John Roach nugget and then act like I was the one.
I enjoy it. I think my favorite part was listening to you try to explain the legality of cold sparks. So some venues and some people
Yeah.
just because I understand that struggle so much.
So much. But after COVID, I mean, it was just like game on. I mean, all the couples, at least in our area, were asking about them because they've all seen them in everyone's backyard for the last year. And then they're just like, all right, well, I guess we got to let these, sparklers in. But if you noticed, I only saw one set of sparklers at the last convention I was at.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the conventions require us to have permits.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Oh, the Atlantic City. When we were at Atlantic City, there DJX.
Yeah.
They required, if you wanted to launch Cold Sparks, you had to have a pyrotechnic license in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So we're like, we brought them. And they went around. I was like, so how do we get to play these off? And they're like, you have to have a pyrotechnic license. We're like, okay, so they'll just sit there on the case and look pretty.
Yeah.
And then our friends at ProX, they do not have a permit. They waited until the second show day, and then they like shot it off, and you could tell that they were definitely not doing it legally because they were kind of like looking around like,
Good
all right,
for you.
come here, real
Good
quick.
for you, Pro X.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's stupid. We have the same problems here. So technically in North Carolina, you have to have a pyrotechnic license to do a public cold spark display. And I always preference this with venues and people. It's like, this is a private wedding, therefore it's at your discretion. There is legality rules and stuff that you can, but there's one county up to our west, and the fire marshal dude there is just a piece of work. He called like all the venue owners and told them, hey, watch out for the DJs with these things. They're completely illegal. You can't have them. So like, it's sad. We get brides. They're like, oh, we want that. And then they're like, oh yeah, the venue just said you need this. And like, they send us over the thing that basically says we have to have the fire marshal approve it and have a permit. And we're like, yeah, sorry, we can't do that. And then the couples get upset because they're like, why? I want to have it. And we're like, listen, they want us to literally go to firework training, which is like a month-long process. You have to literally go shoot like 3 firework shows of your own. Who knows how much that costs?
Do you have to have the firefighters on standby?
Yes.
Which essentially they're working overtime for a minimum.
Yep. You have to have
absurd. We don't do fucking that
that's
shit.
that's the
too much.
legal way to do it, and it's just
I missed the train.
Anyways,
the
enough
cops
gear
the
talk.
cops crack down on it now, so it's tough. It's too tough now.
We still rent them out a lot.
Everyone just switched to these big ass tubes. Problem solved.
Yep,
Well,
exactly.
Sell people those.
Everyone who's watching, I mean, we just got to ride that train until it stops. I mean, I think it's going to stop in the near future.
Yeah, I saw a
that's
cool.
not ready.
I mean, it's nice to have just like selling DJs. That's your main income, and then things come and go. The niches come and go, and you can add them and you can take them away, and blah blah blah. And it's not going to fuck your main.
No.
It's just like
This is just a little caveat. Side story on Cold Sparks. I'm not sure if this gets around legality, but of course, running Bow Flighting USA, we see all these setups of all these DJs. One dude literally built plexiglass rectangular boxes that the Cold Sparks shoot off inside of, and he said it's because he's got venues that don't want the powder getting everywhere.
Yeah,
and he
fair.
basically built these
cool.
he built these 8-foot towers that are like 2 foot by 2 foot and put plexiglass on all 4 sides, put a couple vent holes in the bottom, and the venue lets him use them. And I was like,
I mean, that's
pretty cool, but
pretty damn intuitive.
Yeah,
Bravo.
I could see how that looks sick.
Yeah, I doubt that'll get around the legality though.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, the sparkler units, they'll leave that residue, that little black speck residue.
Yep, that's what the venues are concerned with.
Right. Oh, that's.
And it goes everywhere too. I remember someone commented or sent us a message and basically said, all of us using Cold Sparks, we're probably going to have cancer at some point later on in life inhaling this shit.
Right.
And I was like,
you know how many things I do that could give me cancer?
I was like, you're probably not wrong, but that's future's problem.
Yeah, you live under a pillow if you said that over everything. Exactly. There's a good question right here.
I made money with that.
Yeah. How much of a loan does usually one have to take out to start up a DJ company? Yeah. How did you even come up with a number and allocate where of what
to
a DJ company?
Saying it.
When
I'm
curious. When I started, it was completely a cash startup. There was no, nothing. It was just building blocks of how much I had at that time.
I know.
So I don't know shit about taking a loan and actually,
Yeah, I put cash into mine too.
DJ Willie Will.
That's it.
That is a great question. I'll tell you what I did is I hate loans. I still do that. Hey, Rich, there's good debt. There's bad debt. I think all debt is bad. It depends on what finances I'm using to leverage what. Uh-huh. So what I did was exactly what you just said, Eric. Everything was cash flowed. Before I started working as a police officer, I would get X number $100 for an event, and I would just divide that up. I'd pay for some of my bills. I would reinvest the rest into into the company, and then I would put that in, the other third into savings. And I just started trucking. And then I would continually do that, but I didn't have any debt. Mm-hmm. And then, when you are, making purchases for capital, I mean, everything was cash flow, even to this day.
Yeah.
I don't like debt. And coming out of the pandemic, I don't know about you guys, but that scared the F out of me. As financially responsible as I am not going to have the government or anyone else putting hands on what I can do as a business. So, I'm burying shit in my backyard.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So you did take out a loan when John came on, or you didn't?
So that's kind of like a misnomer. Okay. I took out a loan to start the company. I borrowed $5,000 from my mom for marketing materials. Mm-hmm.
I don't consider that the same thing. You know what I mean? I feel like that. Technically, sure. A little different though.
But if you have the ability to do that, it's 0% better than anything in the world. So especially.
But here's what you can do. I mean, if you're going to take out a loan, if you have this immediate need and you're on the cusp of, all right, listen, I'm doing 60 events by myself in my business. Mm-hmm. I need someone to help me out run things, and I'm pretty sure that I can get their help DJing mm-hmm. too. You go and get a $50,000 loan. And you can use that for, payroll for whomever, because the return you're going to get on that is by far different, better ROI than you spending $50K on
Bullshit.
on gear.
Speakers. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So
Yeah.
No.
When we started, the amount we charged was less, but I really don't think it's relevant to the gear. You know, I'm not one of those people that think you can charge more for certain gear. But we used ZLX EV crap, and they were bought off of like Facebook Marketplace because like homie had like threw it down the stairs, and so I bought that one for $100 or whatever. That's how we did everything. Everything was hand me down, Facebook Marketplace, gig bars that people just pieces of shit.
So when we're talking about loans and everything, I actually did a very interesting thing with one of the kids I coached I call him a kid. He's basically 20-something. He's just a little bit younger than me. He started a DJ company up in Massachusetts, I believe. He's a single op right now, but he basically had me coach him throughout the whole thing, every single week and everything.
Great.
And when he came to me, he had done some wedding shows, had zero gear, did it exactly right, went to do a bunch of wedding shows, spent all his money on marketing, and he booked like 20 weddings off of these wedding shows coming out of January and everything. I'm like, all right, let's look at what we have to come in throughout the next year. And we actually leveraged a lot of those 12-month or 0% financing stuff to get him the gear to do those events because we knew the capital was coming in to do so. And being mindful of budgeting for ad spend along the way to keep his ads running and Wedding Wire and not all that fun stuff. But there's a million ways to cut a cookie when it comes to financing the startup of a DJ, but definitely leveraging your marketing spend first and foremost.
Yeah.
And get 50% down deposits up front and then use that capital then to go purchase whatever gear you need to get.
That's really all it is. Dump your funds into marketing. You will figure out the rest.
It's almost like what the financial gurus talked about when they're like, dump your money into the stock market or go buy real estate and then use the cash flow from real estate to buy all the fun shit you want to have. It's the same sort of principle in a way, in a high level scheme.
and that's fantastic advice. Every once in a while, American Express. So I have a relationship with American Express. Chase. I use the Chase Southwest Miles. But every once in a while, Amex will come out with a 0% interest card for 12, 14 months or whatever. Hop on that. I mean, I did that you can't do it every single year. You got to have some time lapse, but I used that last year and it's great. But, in September when you owe 25 G's, that's going to slap you like so
PayPal always runs if you get PayPal credit, 6 months, 0% all day long. And then, the Amazon Prime card. So Amazon, if you get the business one, it's an AMX card. If you get the personal one, it's a Chase card.
5%.
They do 5% cash back, or you can do 12 months 0%. So you can get 5% cash back, or you can do 12 months 0%. So there's two different ways to leverage that as well. So, people, there's a lot of ways but like what you said right there, you need to be mindful of how much money you're putting on 0%. And make sure you have the funds in place to pay for said.
Yeah, you still owe the money.
You still owe the money.
It's crazy how you could possibly misconstrue that, but it's easy to do.
I was about to say it's very easy to do.
Oh, super easy to do.
And if you can position, if you're having a tough time with cash flow, and this doesn't happen overnight. You have to have a good contract. You've got to be able to realize what cash flow is, like what you said, Eric, and whether it's retainers or deposits. You should be taking $75, $100, $150 up front. Minimally, you've got to be looking for 30%. And then you build in a payment number 2 halfway through the planning journey, and then a final payment, not the night of, not 30 days. We do 90 days.
Wow.
So you're positioned where there's always cash coming in. So if you're in a slower months, boom, hit that 0% credit card just so you're not using all your cash flow in January, February, March, throw it on the credit card, and then once cash starts coming in, you start paying that off.
That's so 90 days. That's interesting.
So speaking on that, Mitch Taylor, one time we were talking, I don't know if it was on this podcast or not, but talking to Mitch and his cancellation policy with his clients, his like you were saying, oh, final balance is 90 days prior or whatever. His cancellation policy was in line with that, which sounds stupid that mine's not with mine, but whatever. So like if you cancel on us, right? 6 or more months, you're off the hook. You lose your money, but you're off the hook. If it's 6 to 3 months, you owe us $500 or the remaining balance, whichever is less, right? And then 3 or less, you're just shit out of luck, full balance, whatever.
Yep.
Now, but you don't have to give us the full balance until 14 days prior. But Mitch Taylor would have done if it was mine, you owe us, whatever the down payment is, and then you owe us everything besides $500. It's 6 months out, and then 3 months out is the final balance.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do that, then fuck you and click the button, and end it right there.
My mindset, I just went through a wedding, and lo and behold, all the entertainment ran through my company, so I fronted all that cost and everything. But it is interesting now that we're talking about this. I like the approach of 90 days out because I tell you what, within 2 weeks, I was like, any invoice that came our way, I was like, God fucking damn it, another $2,000's got to be spent on this shit. Or we forgot about purchasing like little knickknack or something, like, and that was $1,000. Or we needed to add this fucking rental chair and that was like another $1,000. And it's just like the money just kept going up and up in those last few weeks. So yeah. I'm really kind of grasping on why this 90 days out final payment is a way better strategy, just from a comfort standpoint for the client.
That is a great point. And it's comforting on the company side too, because
absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, one or two clients actually pay on time, and we don't want to be the assholes, right? My joke with a client says, listen, we're not going to shut your power off if you're a day or two late in your payment. It's 90 days ish. Okay, no problem, Rich. We love you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then this way, if they are a month late, you are still 60 days out.
Yeah.
And you're not under the fire.
Of time. Yeah.
And when a bulk of your expenses, you have that final planning meeting, usually happens 4 to 6 weeks. So if you have multiple DJs working for you where people are on payroll, you have to pay them for that meeting. You're not paying out of your pocket. It's already financed by the company because that third payment should essentially be the labor cost of the event itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rich, just to clarify, what is your exact payment structure that you have with your clients? What's the 3 payment timeframes?
So there was an initial retainer and lose deposit. Everyone stop using the word deposit. You can use initial installment, first payment. This way it's not refundable.
Yeah, retainer. Yeah.
Yep. So that's first. You got to keep it nice and easy. Think about it. You're in the client's shoes. They're shelling out a shit ton of money at this point because they're booking everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We come in with the nice and easy, gentle $500.
Same.
Same.
It doesn't take an act of Congress to meet about the $500 DJ down payment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's that. But that second payment, the wedding dust is going to settle over the next 6 months. That's when we do payment number 2. And we inject a meeting there with one of our staff members, Jordan. She slams that meeting with the client. They have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
She's answering questions. She's being of service. Like I said, the wedding dust is settled.
You want the uplights.
There it is. And there's payment number 2.
Okay. And then 90
which
days
is
out.
it's 50% of the balance.
Yeah, 3 months out.
It's nice to be on a level where you structure your payments to have a steady cash flow. I know that yet again it's business 101, but a lot of people aren't even on that level. You know what I mean? Business 101 is up there.
Well, even if you do spread it out, you will have cash flow in a way, but you're still going to have peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just the nature of the dates.
Yes.
We initially only did $200 down. That was like 2018 when we started. And then COVID hit. And really, it saved us in COVID because the people that were like, "You're taking our fucking money, fuck you," it was like, "It's $200, it's fine," and they were like, "You're right," So we got left kind of alone through COVID, other than, it sucked too. But then we doubled down because people were walking away so much. And so we were like, all right, we need a little more skin in the game, but still trying to keep it, under a third, so that the majority happens as the events are happening. It's pretty much just like that 400, it covers our admin salaries and whatnot. It covers our marketing and just like the day to day. And then come the labor, that's really when the profit hits also, is come the events. That's when we accept the money that's going to go to the DJ and our own money.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're fucking marketing beast. And I would say that, you measure where your marketing dollars are going and how much they're bringing you back and whatnot. You're one of the people that probably actually knows those numbers, right?
Absolutely.
I can assume that. Yeah. So, Rich and John were the people that were saying basically, keep doing wedding shows due to vendor relationships. That was the gist of it. That's the 4-second version.
I liked your Instagram post the other day too, that went through that, the little slide one.
Oh, about why we don't DJ the fashion show?
Yeah, why you don't DJ the fashion show. I like that.
Thank you.
As a person that DJs the fashion show. I was like, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, that's funny. So, all right. So let's say it costs, just for math's sake, $1,000 to do a wedding show. Now, if you took that $1,000, put it into Google, wherever the hell you're going with it, direct measurable dollars, there's just no way Google doesn't win. I'm sorry, there's just no way. However, your entire idea of your seminar is fuck that. It's not about that. Basically. How the fuck did you come to that conclusion? And how do you know, where did that whole thing begin?
This was John's idea. I call him the people's champ. I mean, and I'm not afraid to say it. I surround myself with people who are more intelligent than me in great areas. And for the longest time, I was the cynical cop asshole. They locked me in the second story with the calculator and the pencil, and John was off, gallivanting around making relationships. So this is his baby. And, it took me a while to adopt this and to learn this because you're actually impacting people's lives. I mean, these are the wedding professionals that you work with on the weekends. And, everyone is out doing their own thing. You wake up in the morning and you just want to do the best you can for your life. So why not cultivate a relationship? And like I said, if you do those 3 principles about building a business, you're nice to people, you give them what they pay for, and you're honest. How can this not win? I will take this over Google anytime.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I mean, and you could do all of the above. It's not like you have to not do Google, but right.
You should do all of the above.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Of course. Now, do you, because it's a paid event, these wedding shows, you have to pay to go to them. Now, do you not think that you could find free events that would serve the same purpose and therefore save money? You know what I mean? Like what?
Like a networking event, a vendor
open houses.
Event.
We get invited to open houses all the time. It's basically a miniature wedding show, and you're being a bro, playing music for the venue, and whatever like you guys do at Legacy Stables. Same shit.
Yeah.
But it's free. Do you? I'm assuming you guys do those also.
This is the season for that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
It's funny because I used to ignore those emails. People literally email me like, "Hey, will you come to the open house?" I'd be like, "Fuck you!" I was like, "I'm not coming to give you a free DJ." Well, it just didn't make any sense to me. I literally was like, "I gotta pay to know," because I'm not going to do it myself either. And now that I got the Rich experience, I was like, damn, all right, this year we're going to flip the script on that. So we're starting that. But it's all free. We're doing a couple of the paid wedding shows, like that Monster one, not in Winston, but the Charlotte one. But the rep actually called me earlier and was like, "Hey, you signing up for all our other fucking shows?"
ACS?
Yeah.
ACS.
Yeah. And I was like, we're actually stepping back. Yeah, they're nationwide.
They're based in New York, so I figured ACS is prominent there. Yeah,
They kill it down here. They throw the best wedding shows down here.
they know how to market. That's the biggest thing. They know how to market. They got the experience and the knowledge of how to do social media marketing and get people in the
I
fucking
told
room.
Don. I told Don about it. I screenshotted. I was like, I know you can copy audiences on Facebook ads. I was like, copy this audience. I was like, that'll solve your whole wedding show, dude. And he listened.
Well, I was
See,
that person.
This was a
Eric.
week ago.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
This is last week or 2 weeks ago. I actually did it while I was drinking at your wedding because I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to help him out.
I've been at a 50-50 with Don where we're basically not doing them anymore. I mean, it's just
they're not worth. As for like, a client or a lead is going to give you money directly.
not even that.
Zero. It just is.
There's only like
we really relying on that vendor thing.
But even
for that
then,
to be worth it.
But even the vendor thing though, when I walk around that room,
It's not the vendors I care to connect with.
There's like
You're
five
right.
there that I really care about, and I already have a good relationship with those 5 that are there, and it's like,
What are your thoughts on all that? I'm sure you've
So-
ran into all that.
No, I agree with you, and we do a lot of the tastings. However, when the paid wedding expos, you're going to get more vendors. We're talking 50.
okay, now let's say you don't. Let's say this is a paid one that they don't have 50 vendors.
Well, what if they're all like vendors? Yes, but like who fucking cares? Vendors, like they're honeymoon specialists.
All right, let's say there's 30 vendors in there, and then there's 5 that we care about, but we already have a relationship with them.
Okay.
Do we go to that wedding show?
How many couples they bringing through?
Not enough. Not enough to
couple
justify.
hundred, but
Let's
they're-
just assume it's not justified in that direction.
But they're low. They're low.
So what's your fee to be present?
What's our what?
What's your fee to be in the show?
Our fee?
how much does it cost?
Like $995, like $1,000, like
$1,000-ish
for a 10.
They're
by 10.
all about $1,000 a day. Some are 2 days, and those are about 16 or 2.
This is a one day, and they do it twice a year, and it's like.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. I mean I'd be 50-50. I would rather spend $1,000 and go take those vendors out for lunch.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
what
go.
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I would rather do something like that.
The bigger thing with this show we're talking about right now is like all the vendors we talk to are like, this show is getting worse and worse.
Yeah, it's kind of like a common ground.
It's like
for people.
like everybody's,
and it
they're
sucks
in on
because
it.
the owner, everyone's homies with, kind of, but like we're still not gonna pay you for no reason,
So what I would do is I would take that $1,000. I would rent out. You don't even have to rent. Go to your favorite venue and say, hey, listen, on a Thursday afternoon at 2:00, I'm going to bring in like 25, 30 wedding professionals. They'll give you the space for free. You buy everyone lunch, and you do a seminar or something. Seminar, networking, you bring in someone to do CPR, bring in Rachel, bring in myself. We'll train everyone in CPR for 4 hours. We'll have a blast. It's team. Everyone's going to have laughs and stuff like that. And that money's better spent.
That's
doing
actually, if you made a point to, if all right, we do 3 wedding shows a year, $1,000. So you take that $1,000 and basically just turn it into a party that gives back. However that is, whatever you figure out with that, 3 times a year, I could see that being some seriously strong handshakes.
We're working on it.
Definitely. Happy hour.
That's
You know what I mean?
That's literally that exact
Industry
same thing
night
what we're doing.
on Mondays.
That's what we're doing. My coach actually, so I have a business coach, and she would love to come give a free seminar because she's a business coach and trying to get clients. So we're already working together on like, we're going to throw vendor parties. We have an open house party at the end of the month where we're going to actually announce the official opening of our warehouse. But invite a bunch of people over and like, I mean, it's our warehouse, so throw a screen in the back, throw a projector up, and let someone give a seminar.
I tell you what, you do something on the off season next year. I know John would love to come on, or anyone else. I see Rich Poses in the audience from our team. Would love to come down. Give me an excuse to go down to Raleigh.
You bring up a
It's
good
funny
reason.
that guy.
It's funny. I like where you're going. It's not funny, but I like. That's a brilliant idea though, because I like because I have the same ideas and the same mindset to give the same presentation, but if I'm giving the presentation, then that you know, it looks different if I bring in an outside source to give a presentation or give a talk versus myself giving it, because it's more like ego-based if I'm giving it.
Yeah.
I like this. We'll be in touch, Rich.
Yeah. Are you doing any more? Do you have any more seminars for conventions in the pipeline?
In the works.
We have thought about doing MBA, and it was too much to do the video thing, and quite frankly, I don't know. We're tapped.
Yep.
We are so busy between April and November. I mean, we're doing a fall VIP, so we committed to that. It's just another convention is like, wah.
Yeah.
I can't make collective the recharge thing. I'm going on a trip with my family.
Yeah, I'm done. Obviously those dudes are my homies. I'm done with the collective though. That would, I only like to, and I'm sure it provides value, but that's I go for a party. The huge party. That's why I like it. And like I said, it's fine, but that's why I probably won't go. Yeah, I mean, Midwest DJs at the very end of April, which I'm very excited about, by the way. But we had probably 30 weddings that weekend. You know what I mean? So it's like, that last week of April is fucking crazy.
And when you're doing your weddings too, do you have employees?
Me?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so, but you're also planning these from a company standpoint, in addition to executing them. You're just not subbing them out to people. You're doing 30 weddings. It takes time from you.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take much time. It shouldn't take any time unless there's errors, but it's just risky. It's more about the DJ breaks his leg, or it's just the day of fires, for me to be gone.
Do you have what's her name in place to be the backup now?
Yep. Yeah,
100%.
Well, the thing is like the only problem. Let's say a DJ broke his leg. Lindsay's like, "All right, I'm on the way. Whatever." And she's got the gear. She knows how to do it. She's just not good. They're getting a shitty DJ, and that's where we're at. Unless I'm in town, which yes, I'm up first, obviously, but I have to go out of town, so it puts us in a position, and I'm sure it'll be fine. It's never even happened before, but the day it does happen, I'm gonna fucking die.
That's when you play the symphony card with,
right
with that client heavily.
Oh, I would on top of giving them 100% refund, I would probably pay them.
We're jumping the 100% me.
Oh yeah, who cares? I mean, if you fuck their wedding, you don't deserve money. You deserve to pay them. Like, you took on a wedding that you should not have taken on. You deserve to give them a cash bonus on top of their money back, I think.
I'm going to flip this real quick, because this comment irked me a little bit on Nick's. Nick just released the vlog of my wedding, and some dude commented and said, how bad does that look for Rick that he chose to fly in another DJ instead of choosing one of his own DJs to DJ his wedding?
No.
I guess if I'm a client of his, I'm just going to say that none of your DJs are worth a shit.
Okay.
And I was like,
well, first, no one has any context. That is just a YouTube little dickhead. Whatever. Who cares?
It irked me though.
Man, I had so much fun that night. That was a great night. I will say, that was a really
I wanted all my
night.
DJ friends to be able to enjoy themselves.
Yeah,
it is right there.
Yeah,
exactly.
I made
the amount of enormous pressure.
Half my DJs were in the wedding party. Like, whip me.
We went to the an after party. A bar up the street. They got like a table and a bottle and blah blah blah. We all walk in and the DJ's doing his thing. Nick walks up and the dude looks up at Nick Spinelli and literally almost has a fucking heart attack.
Yeah,
you can see it in his face.
Like,
he goes like, what the, and then he looks up and
then he
Bar
saw
and
Bar,
Rick Weber
and he saw Rick and he saw Jay Book and he's like,
he
what
literally
the fuck is going on?
And
fanboyed out.
It was so. I mean, that's great. And then he looks at me and he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then awesome. Eric's the fucking dude in glasses. And you know what's the fucking most? I wish I was an influencer. I don't have the popularity all these dudes have, and they deserve it. So whatever.
You'll get there.
But so this dude, I have literally been on a Zoom call discussing a job before, and he had no clue who I was. Clearly,
really?
Yeah. and that's fine. I mean, it didn't work out. I didn't want to hire him, so that's cool. I don't care. But whatever.
The funniest thing for me was, the DJs in the room at that after party, we're all like, yo, this is good. Like, we're listening to the DJ, of course, and we're like, yeah, he's doing good. And then, like, the commerce people that were at the wedding, they're coming up to me going like, this DJ sucks. Your DJ was so much like better. And we're like, hey, you just don't realize what you just experienced. Like, Nick's up here and these guys are right here with him, but you just don't understand where this bottom end is, and it's a big bottom end.
You know how many calls I got? Because I'm like the troll. I'm like the dude that'll say some fucked up shit about something that no one else will, kind of thing. I immediately got 10 people hit me up on Instagrams like, so tell me, how was Nick? Like you tell me, how was he? You know what I mean? And I'm like,
and what was your reply?
He was good. He kept it tame. He didn't go nuts with it, but he did. It was spicy. It was a spicy mix still, but it was the wedding music that you know. And if it was a remix, it was far and few between. It was perfect. It was a perfect wedding set, a little drummed up.
So I've watched it back now because I have the GoPro footage of the whole thing, and I was editing it down. And one thing that was different or different take on DJing a wedding was how Nick literally flipped genres every other track.
Really?
He'd go pop, rock, hip hop, EDM. Like, there was no like hip hop set in there. There was no EDM set in there. There was no Latin set there. It was literally a flip into another song, a cappella of this song over this song.
He has an unfair advantage though, because that people know he's about to go up there and play some funny shit. You know what I mean? And they're gonna rock with it because they're expecting it. They want that.
Yeah.
If I got up there, no one fucking knows who I am. If I'm like Macarena, or maybe that's a bad example, but like
I get what you're saying.
Whatever joke song, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
He plays it. He played. Like, okay, this is cool.
Exactly, and we're all rocking with it because duh.
Right. Yeah, but you're saying that being someone that knows him. 90% of my crowd that was at the wedding does not know who the fuck Nick was.
Yeah, you're right.
They just knew I flew in a guy.
They were dancing. Yeah,
I would guess most of them got the vibe that I brought in a guy.
But like I said, he didn't throw me for a loop of like, what the fuck? I didn't like check over my shoulder at all. It was. I
mean, his opening set was literally September into Low, into Calipari, into Denzakuza, into Peppa's, into Carry On My Way. Like,
solid.
So much variety.
It's not necessarily, but it's wedding.
A very inclusive first hour.
But also massive hits. It's not like he was digging deep, some kind of like record, record crate digger. I can't remember the term.
No. Everything was music you knew. The one thing that, I took out of watching his shit back was the amount of, there's all these songs that like get people to put their hands in the air, right? And he like spaced them out throughout the night in a way that made so much sense that like every fifth song was a song that like got you to put your hands in the air. Like his first one was YMCA. He dropped YMCA in the first set too. He put YMCA in there. He went Tricky, YMCA, and then I can't remember what else. But like, YMCA, Party in the USA, all these songs that To the Window, To the Wall, like, and they were all spaced out in a way that like got people to get energetic or put their hands up at certain points throughout the night. And I was like, man, I just need a creative like put your hands in the air songs and just like then I can just like pick and choose as I go.
Hands in the air.
Was everyone on their phone taking notes as far as like, all right, what do we play here?
No.
Yeah,
Everybody was
Spotify session. Honestly, all the DJs
were trash.
Even Bar, who is like super a tame human, and he was like nothing like that, but he was even dancing. Him and his wife were dancing with us and whatnot.
Bar got trashed the night before and was puking. So there's some side stories.
He showed me a picture of him in the car, leaned up. But
there's lots of stories out there. It was fun.
That's awesome.
It was a blast. A lot of influencer friends getting together, having fun, getting drunk, and just enjoying another DJ playing a good set. I mean,
that's awesome.
You can't
love
beat
that.
Can't beat it.
You have to pay any bills with answering these questions in chats or anything?
No, I was gonna say I don't think I was looking through them just real quick. Just a quick scan.
Quick scan here, Dan.
Yeah, without people dropping some serious numbers that you're probably not trying to drop on a podcast. I don't know.
Well, how many events did you book, or how many events have you booked in 2024 so far, Rich?
So far, we are about 3.25.
325? Is that what you said? Holy shit!
We finished up last year just under 550.
And what's your radius? What radius do you take events?
Mostly it's in our Rochester area, but we don't go to Buffalo much. Buffalo is pretty saturated and it's low, it's a low rent. So we stay Rochester. Finger Lakes is huge, Canandaigua near the lake. It's high money over there. We'll skirt out to Syracuse a little bit, but it's mostly just Rochester.
Gotcha.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, we'll go to like Rhode Island. We're probably 2 to 3 hours away on the norm. And that's pretty much the gist.
I wish we had a market like that here.
I know. We have to drive a 5-hour radius to pull serious bulk. This just it's all there is to it.
Well, we live in a city where it's an hour and a half to Raleigh. It's an hour and a half to 2 hours to Charlotte. So we just deem ourselves as being, and it's 30 minutes to Winston. So like we're just deemed to be in that radius of traveling to all those cities, because that's where people want to have their weddings. So if we were just in Greensboro, I don't think you pull more than maybe 50 weddings a year.
It'd be tough.
It'd be tough.
It would definitely be tough.
So,
whatever.
But yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
This was a blast.
Great stuff.
This was a blast. Rich.
I've been super excited about this one. I originally made a super funny, intricate Instagram post, but then Facebook did whatever the fuck it did.
Oh,
earlier,
dude,
and it
I
just
got
deleted
tagged
it.
in like 3 of your posts. Hey, Eric mentioned you in a post. Eric, and it's like deleted.
Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck happened?
I tagged Aaron Strawn in all of it too, just to be funny, and here we are. No Aaron Strawn.
No, I had a blast. Thanks for having me, guys. And if I can ever join you in the future, I am all for it.
Yeah, we're huge fans, so we're probably going to be talking about stuff like that.
Likewise. And I am dead ass serious. If you do something in the off season, the whole Pittsburgh DJ Summit, that happened in a week. Yeah. Bill texted me. He's like, we had someone back out. Can you help us out?
Right.
I haven't mentioned it to Eric, but I've talked about having like a DJ meetup with my guys here in Greensboro, like a DJ meetup sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. That'd be fun.
It'd be so cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Because no one's doing it around here.
So if any of our listeners would maybe want to catch you for some advice, where would they hit you up?
I mean, a lot of stuff that I give, it's all on my gram. It's Rich Cranston DJ. And, sometimes people ask me, can we dive a little deeper on some stuff, do any type of consulting? My schedule's kind of racked as it is, but I just love helping people. Right. So I throw shit out there. And if someone can use it, great. Yeah. But that's how you can find me.
Honestly, even if the dude doesn't have time, you should follow him because he's constantly posting golden information that will help you in your business if you're a DJ.
I imagine you already have a Calendly, right? With your availability. You should just create one that has whatever you want to charge for your hourly rate.
That's what I do.
That's what I have. I have one that's just like, if you want to meet with me, here's my Calendly. There's my hourly rate.
When I get an annoying ass message and people are like, will you dedicate 3 hours to answering my questions? It's like, sure, I'd love to. Here's my link.
Yes.
Yeah. No, seriously. I mean, and then it's built into there too. For them to schedule, they have to pay the fee. So it works out. You should look into it. But anyways, awesome, Rich. Thank you for basically joining us. This is an awesome evening. Cool. So, do we have a set podcast next week yet?
We do, but I can't remember.
Is it the Midwest or no? David Gordon, my guy.
Oh, okay.
My guy. He's David Gordon, who is one of our contractors for Both Lighting USA. He's a sales rep.
Yep. Who is not David Gonzalez?
Yes. I always confuse that in the chat.
Insider
knowledge. But yes, we'll have him on. He's a young kid already running his own multi-op up in the Pennsylvania area, Philadelphia, or Philadelphia, I believe. Anyways, we'll be on next week with him. We'll be on every Tuesday in the forthcoming, except for one Tuesday at the end of the end of the month.
The last 2 of April we're gone. I'm in Germany, and then we're at Midwest.
Oh, Germany, huh?
Yep, tattoos, man.
Fun there.
Gotta get some tattoos, man.
More details to come on Midwest. We should be doing something live on the DJ Light podcast at Midwest.
Nice.
Maybe multiple days. We'll find out, but this is in the works. So,
yep.
Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching the video, you can listen to it on all the different sources. If you're listening to this podcast, you can watch the video source on YouTube, and you should hit the subscribe button because we're trying to grow that platform. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.